Remember, they're changing my voice. Before I get into this video about wisdom, insight, discernment, discretion, sense, and sound judgment, I'd like to point out that much of Proverbs is about defining what sense is, what insight is, and what sound judgment is. And Proverbs is about understanding the other books in the Bible, the sayings, the parables, the riddles, right? The riddles. And it refers to a fool as somebody, okay, who is morally deficient, okay, doesn't have sound moral direction. Same as a simple person. A simple person doesn't have moral direction, and so they become a fool. Okay, a simple person and a fool are basically the same thing. Because they don't have moral direction, they don't have moral worth. It says in Proverbs 31, a wife of noble character who can find, right? She's worth more. She's more precious than rubies. So in Proverbs 8, it describes what it means to be wise, what it means to have sense and insight, and it starts to explore the importance of it. So a lot of the scriptures I'm going to go over has to do with the importance of insight, sense, and discretion, because that's where we find these words being used in Proverbs, right? Discernment, sound judgment, what have you. Now look at in terms of the idea of, am I racist for saying things that are true that have to do with race that seems to favor my race, we'll say. Okay, no, and that takes insight, wisdom, discretion, discernment, and sound judgment. I'm part white. I was engaged to a woman who's part Greek, part Italian. I had my heart broken really bad by a female who probably was white Hispanic. Her name was Maria. Okay, you know, maybe she was just Spanish. I don't know. She had a certain look to her that was a little bit confusing. I was played out hard, not just rejected. Her dad actually called my dad and called me and said, guess what race she is? You cannot make this up. Okay? It's almost like I'm making it up. I'm not making it up. He said, I don't lie. You know? I made mistakes in my videos in the past. They're minor. I corrected them. I made sure that the sum total presentation was clear-cut truth. Okay? I made sure of that. He called, and so she lacked the insight and the sound judgment and the discretion and the discernment to see a young Jesus who's madly in love with her, okay, and to value him. She literally, valued me. She literally dated a guy who looked like Wheeze from The Devil and Daniel Mouse. You can't make this up. And I'm not trying to make fun of him or anything. It's just, this is part of the story. She was part of a psychological operation where technology was applied to have a certain psychological effect and to have association with movies to make it so I seem less credible when I speak about it. And when you have the insight and the discernment and the sound judgment, okay, and use your discretion in terms of what you believe and what you don't, okay, and what you give away that you believe and what you don't, so it makes it clear to you that that's what happened. That they were running a psychological operation on me my whole life, because these people are in churches and cults and spiritual groups and so on and so forth, whatever you want to call pagan groups, whose essential theme is the foundation, found alpha shun. Okay, that's the foundation which they build on. The foolish builders build on rebellion against the king. They perceive me to be the King of Kings early on, just like in the story when the three wise men went to worship Jesus. Okay, part of that story is early identification, intervention, and prevention. King Herod also wanted to find him and snuff him out. And so he started killing children for the wrong reason. One can argue there's never a right reason, but there's the story of the Bible and the Egyptian firstborns and so on and so forth. Okay, so it takes that judgment. What makes a wife of noble character? She has wisdom, insight, sense, sound judgment. This is part of what Proverbs 31 is about. But, we'll get into this in part 2, the next video after this, why I'm right about that. Thank you.